That is pretty dang cool. I'll probably have the head mount, just look at all of us. Oh, it's upside down. There it goes.
That's the other thing. You can't. It's hard to tell which end's up.
Yeah, you have to make sure you have the screen.
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah, I want a couple of those. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, I think once in fact,
can you get like some head mounts too?
Yeah, I think the mounts generally range from 30 to 50, depending on which one you get. So like the car mount, I think was 50.
Oh, was it?
So in the end, I think you end up spending around almost 300 after tax. It's like 270. Well,
so
I bought the SD card as well. I bought a 64 gig micro SD for only like $16 with it.
I mean, dude, memory is so cheap now.
Oh, and it's amazing. And it's a SanDisk one too, so it's name brand.
Yeah.
So it was like I went to Walmart, I bought that.
It's a good speed.
Yeah.
Is that still recording?
Yeah. I'm just screwing around with it.
We're in the vlog. We're in the vlog.
So you could do a side of French toast.
You know what would be actually kind of funny? Just bring the mountain, stick it to the wall right there.
There's a suction cup it. Yeah, I'm thinking like I've been toying with the idea of starting a vlog because I do shit like this with my friends
All the time.
all the time. I'm not looking to make money off of YouTube. I'm not looking at it like a business. Like this would be a hobby, you know.
I'd love to as well. I mean, like on my YouTube, technically my YouTube's monetized, but I don't get anywhere close to getting anything. That's fine. I don't care. But I've taken a few videos and just like edited them, had some fun with them, thrown them out there. The one that's actually getting the most views was my roommate's Mustang. I did about an 8-minute exhaust clip with a good run on. And I had it mounted perfect. No wind noise at all.
Well, here's the thing, like people with a certain car, regardless of what it is, will be like, look up their own car and be like exhaust clip or whatever. Like, just yesterday, I was looking at 2.5 5-cylinder sounds.
You sent me one.
Yeah. I did nothing yesterday, like that's all I did. I did that, I shared Donald Trump memes and
I saw that. Some of those were golden.
of the trust something more than
Donald Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, and it doesn't matter if it's C32 300ZXs, it doesn't matter if it's Mustangs, it doesn't matter if it's trucks.
Oh yeah.
People, they want gratification after what they bought, you know.
I know, and especially with the Mustang, as long as you put a few good tags in there, like everybody looks at Mustang exhaust clips because so many.
Because they sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And same thing with LS motors and
I know.
LS swap the world.
I'm not on the bandwagon personally, but
I'm not on it either. But there have been a couple where it's like that would be really awesome.
oh yeah, and I understand why you do it because the LS is a dirt simple motor. You need hardly anything to make it run.
Yeah, super reliable.
Oh yeah, and you can adapt it to almost anything. So I understand why.
Well, yeah, like LS3 with a cam to tune and exhaust is 550 or so. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, for a week, I have a buddy, also named Gavin actually,
Oh, funny.
that has an 03 Z06 that I had for a week. He let me borrow it for a week.
It's a nice friend.
It was, dude,
That
I'm not
is
gonna lie, it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm not an American car guy, but that was fun.
Does he still have it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
He'd still let me borrow it.
Nice.
He went on his honeymoon, that's why I borrowed it for a week to take care of it. And he had just bought the car, so he's like, drive the hell out of it. I want, if anything goes wrong, I want to know right now.
Right, exactly. No, totally.
So like, yeah. Luckily, the week afterwards, the radiator blew. So luckily it wasn't me.
Hold on. That's like, oh, that's right in the way of the camera.
Dude, hang on, I got an idea. If we just swap these two places.
Ah, you're a thinker. Can I get both you and me? It's getting us.
Let's see. Oh yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's like we have a show now.
I know, right?
Or at least that's what people think when it's like, oh yeah, I'm a filmmaker and I got a couple GoPros and
On a camera.
a camera. Easy.
I know, right? But
well,
yeah, I mean, like...
I mean, that'd be awesome to, have someone give you their Corvette for a week.
Well, the funny thing about that thing was, so he bought it from a dealership in Arizona. He bought it, and it was a month before he picked it up because it had issues. It's like he didn't even leave the lock in it. I think it was some misfire issues, so I think it's just some coils.
Probably, yeah.
That's all it was. But
I mean, if it's a C5,
yeah, so
it's already older.
Yeah. So he flew down. They spent 2 days trying to fix it, and they paid for his hotel and everything during that time, just because he had flown down. And then he flew back, came down a month later, and he picked it up and drove it back up to Utah. The car is actually remarkably good. Like, it has 185,000 miles.
Wow.
But the clutch is still strong. The transmission, like a couple of the synchros, they wouldn't really grind, but you could like feel them.
There's resistance there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of resistance. You can feel them, but they wouldn't grind. And the tires were actually, I was amazed at actually how good a condition the tires were. They were just replaced probably not too long ago. And then really...
What were they, do you remember?
They were Pirellis, I believe.
Okay.
So they were good. I think really the only issue with it was like the interior is a little bit shambly. It's typical GM late 90s, early 2000s interiors.
It was a dark time.
Yeah, very dark plastics. No, but there's that, which is working on, because it's just, I mean, some of the stuff is just shit you can find out any old GM car. Like, the climate control is literally out of every Buick in that era.
So there's this car that Doug DeMuro just drove recently. Do you know Doug? Yeah, it was the Cavale Vangusta. And it's basically a Mustang, like a Terminator Mustang, with a bespoke interior and just a weird exterior. But the same motor, same running gear, a lot of the same. They may say bespoke, but it's got a bunch of
The same switchgear.
But everything else is covered in like really nice leather.
I've seen pictures, I just haven't,
Yeah,
watched the video.
he drove it. Pretty cool. Well, it's interesting. It's funny who calls their interiors bespoke and how much they actually use from other people's parts bin. Do you know Vanderhall?
Yep.
They are Chevy Cruze, I believe, motor and running gear. It's front-wheel drive. The engine is ahead of the front axle.
Yeah.
Which is great. And the interior, they have like a 5th-gen Camaro wheel.
Okay.
And like they have the Chevy Sonic speedometer, which I think like that gauge cluster is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And if it's only one other car, then like that's totally
It's not bad.
That's not bad. But so with working with Everyday Driver, a shoot I worked on with them last year, we had a Vanderhall and took it up Alpine Loop.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how bespoke their interior was.
And
you're like having a bare bone interior like how Lotus does it, that's one thing. And having a simple bare bones raw experience for an interior is one thing. But when you call it bespoke,
and it's not,
and you take from the GM parts bin, which is one of the biggest parts bins in the world.
Yes.
It's them and Chrysler, really.
Yeah, we share, our Saabs actually share not necessarily much of the interior, but the compressor, the alternator, and the power steering pump are all from the GM parts bin.
Funny.
So we have some GM parts in there.
That's funny.
But especially with GM, so many people use GM parts especially for just the little switch gear or like climate controls. Actually, the Audi 200 I had actually was a Cadillac climate control.
Really?
Yep. And the funny thing is the seats, the knobs and whatnot to adjust the seats were a Cadillac. They chose weird things to do it, but yeah. And then the funny thing is I've been in a Ford GT. Ford GT, most of it is actually relatively bespoke, except for I know the mirror adjustment switches for the outside mirrors.
It's bespoke, but kind of cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very much mid 2000s Ford.
Yes, exactly. And so like all the switches, obviously all the switches in the center, those are all bespoke. Those silver ones.
Yeah.
But like
Windows, I think.
The windows and the mirror adjustment were from Focus.
They charged us $150,000 for that
And,
car when it came out.
I think the turn signal stock wasn't from a Focus, but I think it was from a Mustang.
Probably.
Yeah, but they charged $150,000 because like the frame and stuff was the spec, like the actual things that matter.
Well, Lotus tuned the chassis up.
Yeah, but it was a built from scratch chassis,
It was. Totally.
and that's what's cool.
Yeah, it was developed, co-developed by Lotus, built from the ground up by Ford.
Oh yeah, and that's what I think. I think that's the only way.
But then
to
they also
handle
took the 5.4 liter supercharged motor from the Lightning and threw it in there.
Yeah. So the block itself is actually identical, if I remember correctly, to any F-150, because even the 5.4 that was in the Lightning was the same block, just different heads and a supercharger. So it's actually kind of funny that.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what the Ford GT's always been, because even the GT40 was like, it was a regular Ford block, regular Ford 400 block, if I remember correctly.
I don't know how big it was, but yeah.
And basically taken from a truck, different heads, exhaust, all that. So I think that's what the GT's always been, and even now, the EcoBoost that's in it now is roughly the same as that's in the Taurus and the F-150.
Yeah.
But
Which is cool.
It's
I
cool.
like that. I wish it was a twin turbo EcoBoost V8
that would be cool.
because that would just be mental. And see, like in the world of online trolls and journalists now,
Oh yeah.
600 isn't that much anymore.
No,
Like 10 years ago.
that was a lot of horsepower.
Think about 10 years ago. It's 2017 now, so back in 07, the Porsche Carrera GT had been out for a little bit.
Yeah.
That was 600. The Ford GT was 500. The Gallardo was 500. The Murcielago was like 620 or so,
Oh yeah.
which was a bonkers car. The McLaren SLR was around 640.
Something up there, yep.
Like in the low mid sixes.
Yeah.
And then a couple years later, the ZR1 came out with 640, and that was everyone was like, "Oh, this is insane!"
Oh my gosh.
People were going crazy over the Z06, and there's
And
like
that was-
500 horsepower. Oh my god!
Well, actually, I think it was like 435. It's just under 500.
The C6, the Z06.
Oh, the C6 was 500. The
C6.
C5 was like 435.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because now the base ZL1, or not ZL1, but the Z51,
Has like
450.
450, 500, somewhere in that
I
realm.
think it's 455. I think. Which is crazy. And to think that they're selling that car for 50 grand.
What even a standard, even like, say like, have you seen the new Kia Stinger that just got released?
Yeah, I mean they've teased different versions of it, but now the four-door version.
The four-door version.
Yeah.
So so that has a 400 horsepower twin turbo V6.
Yeah.
And that's a relatively cheap car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Well, and what's also funny is like now what a 911 Carrera S now.
Yeah.
420.
Yeah.
Go back to 996 era,
And that was-
the GT3 was 415.
Yeah.
That's what's blowing my mind.
Well, we look right now. So, like, for instance, in my point of view, so you go back to 03 with the RS6 that was brought,
Yeah.
twin turbo V8, 450 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque.
Yep.
I mean, that was nuts.
insane.
Nothing four doors back then had that kind of power.
No, and then when the
Oh.
S6 later came out with the same V10 as a Lambo,
Yeah.
we were like, oh, well, people weren't exploding over it. That's the thing. Like, not a whole lot of people were talking about it.
Well, in reality, it's because they made the car so damn big that it actually hampered the performance quite a bit.
Of course, yeah.
And so, really, they're like, oh, well, I mean, you can hear the Lamborghini tone, but it doesn't accelerate
But it's not like a
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where people drew the line. They were kind of like, eh. However, one car that I wish we got was the C6 RS6, which added twin turbos to that
Yep.
in that sedan.
Yep.
And you can get it in a wagon over there, which you can't get over here.
Nope. God, the things I would do to be John Olson.
Oh, right, with his DTM RS6 Avant.
That burned to the ground.
Yeah, I know. Well, luckily it was after he sold it. Because he sold it, and then it burnt to the ground with whoever bought it.
From what I was told, it was his. Someone stole it and burned it to the ground.
It might have been that, yeah. I knew that at that point it wasn't in his possession anymore. I know that.
Interesting.
I don't know, but either way, I mean, that's
If only if I could contact him somehow.
That's like a 1,050 wheel horsepower car, something like that.
It was like 950 plus for sure.
Yeah, I know
it's
that.
in the 1,000 territory.
It was definitely 1,000 crank. I
Yeah.
don't remember how much wheel, but yeah, it was.
Now he has an Huracan.
Yes.
Is that the VF Engineering Supercharged?
I think so.
Because I know a guy locally who has one too.
And they're
And then there's another guy that's coming on Snowball Rally that has one.
They're only slightly insane. But
I mean, drive a Hellcat and tell me that's not
Oh, I know.
overdone.
I do kind of think that, like, with the Hellcat, people are freaking out about them a bit too much. They're awesome. Like, yeah, 750 odd.
707 is what they're
707.
advertising.
Yeah, 707 is...
I've seen people dyno them at the wheels at 710.
Exactly. I mean, it isn't a pretty crazy amount of horsepower, but it is a very crude car at the same time.
Well, it's super heavy and it's very undertired.
Yes.
Because they only, like, the fact that no one got fired after those guys rolled off the lot with 275s on blows my fucking mind.
I know. Because 275s are only 20 mil wider than what I have on my S6. Like, not those ones, but my one at home.
Yeah.
Because they're 255s.
Yeah. And for something that has, like, what, 3 times the power?
2 times. I have 350, so...
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, so it's 2 times the power. But yeah, I mean, it's still... And then probably about 2 times the torque as well, guaranteed.
And also it's going to half the wheels.
I know. And also it's manual. So,
Which car?
The Hellcat.
Not all of them.
Not all of them?
No.
Oh, really?
No, I drove a Charger with the ZF 8-speed. Fucking
Okay.
glorious.
Either way, that's still going to be, that's still a very, very good box.
That car, you can actually, with the Challenger, I've seen this done. You can start off in top gear. Like, you could be at a light, throw it in 6th gear, feather the clutch.
Very much.
I mean,
It'll take it, I'm sure.
it'll take it, yeah. 0 to 200 in 1 gear.
It'll take a while.
Toast.
Mike? Thank you very much.
I'll grab you some
Thank you.
syrup. Is there anything else I can get you?
I think we're good.
Good.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my Lanta.
That berry sauce looks delectable. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's interesting. Your little concoction.
It's gonna be dank. It's gonna be dank, son.
What's this?
Cheeseburger.
Oh.
Burger of cheesiness.
These are good fries.
May I try one?
Go for it.
Wow.
Here's the catch, you only get one.
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank you.
Just knocked my water over in the process.
Boom.
Oh. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Or even like another thing I was thinking of is back when my Audi 200, my first Audi came out, it had 220 horsepower and 200 foot-pounds of torque, or sorry, 230 foot-pounds of torque.
Which is pretty good.
And actually, when it was released, as far as typical production cars go, it was the fastest typical production car. It was faster than the Corvettes of the era, 0 to 60. It was faster than...
In terms of 0 to 60?
Oh, yeah. And it was faster than the 911. I have
Not
a
top end, though.
Not top end, no.
Right.
It'll do 172.
Oh my god.
Right?
That's insane.
All you have to do is you have to unlimit, you just have to take out, there's just a fuse, that, or like basically a fusible link that's the rev limiter.
Yeah.
And then you take that out and you can do 8,000 RPM and you can do 172.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and that's from the factory. That's factory gearing and everything. It's right off the box.
So, like long gearing then? Has to be if it's a 220 horsepower, 172 mile an hour car.
Yep. Thank you. But yeah, I've got a spreadsheet. That was a Motor Trend. That was a Motor Trend thing on it back in the day. And yeah, that was crazy. The most nuts thing about that, there's only 100 of these.
Wow. Really?
And I had one, and I sold it, and I never should have.
No.
I know the guy who still has it. I'm still in contact with him. Like,
cool.
He's building it up actually to do some racing. So I'll have to see where that goes. But I told him if you
Is
ever
he gonna
get-
race out at Miller?
No. He's in. So the funny thing is, I got it from Missouri, drove it back here, drove it for a year, and then he bought it and drove it back to Tennessee. So it's back across the country again. But I told him, look, if you ever sell it, I will come there with a trailer and I will buy it.
I'll be there with open arms, sir.
But
This is really good, by the way.
the only issue that thing had was really the AC was R12, and so I would need to convert it, and it wasn't working. I had to put a radio in it. And then I did the timing, and I did the valve stem seals because it was burning a little oil. And then it was golden. From then on out, nothing. Oh no, there was a clutch slave cylinder that went out, but really over a year period and 15,000 miles, it wasn't bad at all. Now I didn't know how many miles were on it. Well, the odometer was only at 89,000, and I believed it. So I got almost all the records with it. So the long story short of that car was, I was technically the second owner.
No shit.
So the guy I bought it from was brother to the technical owner. What happened is he bought it new in '91. His family owned one of the dealerships out there, so they got one in and he bought it. And then he died in 2002. His wife continued driving it until 2007 when she got in a minor accident. It was repaired. Well, what they didn't realize is it cracked the radiator slightly, so a week later it overheated, toasted the head. So she put it in the garage. It sat around till 2012 when then his son decided, I want to fix up Dad's old Audi.
Cool.
He did it with his uncle, who's a mechanic, and then got it back on the road and drove it for a bit and decided that he didn't really want to keep it or whatnot. And so then I bought it.
Okay then.
But the good thing is that car was stored inside the entire time. So the painting and body was just mint. And the interior was mostly mint. The headliner was dying, but that was really about it.
I mean, that's not the worst thing to go wrong in the interior, let's be honest.
No. Heated seats still work like a charm, though.
Wish I could say that with my car.
They don't work?
Well,
I know, you're gonna live in that stuff, right?
mine doesn't. The passenger side does.
I'm actually kind of curious to see how well this picks up audio with all the background noise.
I've been thinking about that.
So it's definitely what I will be doing gosh, I can't English today. That is definitely what I will be doing when I get home.
Is looking at this video. We've gotten to some pretty good stuff so far.
We have. We can do this every week. Nick's one word that he gets in. Saw.
Oh shit.
And then 2 words. Yeah, I would definitely be down to be doing this pretty much every week.
I mean, I'll do a vlog. I should definitely just video everything that happens at Snowball. That'd be a good way to kick off a vlog, probably.
That's what I'm going to be up there too, so that's probably what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, like I'll be taking pictures on my way up there. Once they get there, I'll have my camera rolling, and I'll run to the gate and be like, oh hey, it's the Stradman. Oh hey, it's Parker from Vehicle Virgins. Oh hey.
Parker's a pretty funny dude. I like his videos.
James is driving Parker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Parker is co-pilot.
That's awesome.
So what I'm looking forward to is getting a rolling shot, seeing Parker in the car with him. Maybe I could convince him to roll down a window or something, have him stick out. That'd be cool.
No, he's funny. One of my favorite videos that he does is when he talks about daily driving his M5 and what goes wrong with it and how much it actually costs.
Someone just hit it?
Really?
Yeah, he left the car parked and someone hit the passenger side rear corner.
That sucks.
He buys great cars, but he has the worst luck with other people ruining them.
Yes.
When they did Tail of the Dragon and he had an opportunity to ride in a Huayra, which I don't think anyone would pass up.
No.
I thought he did the right thing, but he just gave it to the wrong person.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, I was freaking out when I sat in a Huayra. It's actually a lot.
Never sat in them. I've sat in the Gallardo. I've sat in the track spec Gallardo, or not Gallardo, the track spec Huracan. That's how it makes the models.
Oh yeah, Derek's car.
Yeah. I've sat in Derek's car. I've sat in most of Derek's cars actually. I sat in his Porsche before I got rid of it. Yeah.
They have I believe they have an R8 V10 stick up there.
Yeah, they do.
I want, like, my buddy Christian sent it to me, and I was like, if there's some way that I could test drive this car.
It's the very last one. Per serial number, it is the very last manual
Really?
R8 that will ever be made.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then they also have their R8 LMS, which is awesome.
I mean, yeah.
And I love the fact they're one of 3 people in the States that has one. And they use it to death. I love it.
Yeah.
The fact that they actually use it. 'Cause, I mean, you look at it and you're like, the windshield's just caked with crap, and it's got
You're
scratches.
talking about their blue one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I have a bunch of photos of that car.
Oh, yeah. And-
from the track.
Well, and then not only that, but like the body, you know, typical carbon fiber body, you know, just getting scratched up, paint getting scratched up. I love it. I love the fact that it's actually used.
Yeah, no, it's cool how they buy those cars and they're actually, like, competitive.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, at the track, you'll also see Lisa Crawford in her, GT86.
Yep.
Not that much slower than that.
But, of course, then there's the question, which one's cooler? Most everybody would probably agree the R8 LMS.
Yeah. That's true. I actually had Lisa as my, so I did a lineup on Wednesday. At the end of the last lineup on Wednesday last year. And they had, I did 2 sessions. My 2 instructors were Andy Mensch and Lisa Crawford. Like, 2 of, like, the best drivers out there. I was like, okay, no pressure.
So what did you drive?
On my buddy's E39, or E36.
Sweet. See, I'd love to take the Saab there, because I actually think the Saab would do
That'd be
well.
badass.
I think this car, once I get it set up the way I want to with the suspension, it will do really good. But I think the 2 cars definitely that I have that would do best would be the wagon.
Yeah.
Just because from stock it has much different suspension than that. Because the weird thing about that car, they never really stated what they were going for. So although it has a powerful engine, really good all-wheel drive, and it's pretty fast accelerating, and it does actually handle relatively well, the ride is definitely more GT Cruiser than it is, B-Road Bondstar or anything like that.
I mean, that thing is more of like an Autobahn.
It is. It totally is. And so,
Like a soft suspension that won't beat you up and that can still handle its shit at speed. It'll go insanely fast for what it is.
well, then even with my S6 Avant, I own just rare Audis, because that thing, there's only 150 of those 2003s.
Yep.
There was 700 of the O2s. There's still less than 1,000 of the combined.
Yeah.
But with that one, I read a review on it. I think it was Car and Driver. It was hilarious. At the end, the dude's like, in the end, I know a lot of people will gripe about a price tag for a wagon, but the thing is, what's not to love about doing 160 miles an hour with 2 Labradors and 5 adults?
That's great.
And that thing actually handles really well for being a 4,200-pound pig that it is.
My whole thing with wagons, oddly enough, is being able, just for camera gear.
Oh, yeah.
This camera gear, it used to be golf bags. I used to be big into golf, but like now it's like camera gears and being able to take me with it in the back while doing rolling parts.
Oh, yeah. In the back of those, that thing is huge.
Yeah.
You've got so much room to play with. And my interior is in complete mint condition. There's not a scratch on it. And so it makes it all the better. But yeah,
Stop talking off old Audis. God damn it.
I want everybody to come into the living hell that I'm in. No, actually,
I'm going to go down. I'm going to bring everyone else down with me.
The older ones like that, 95 and older, are actually really good. They're very reliable, have very few issues. My era with the wagon, I've taken care of all the issues, but those are the ones that started to get common with the B5S4 and sensors and stuff between that and the S6 going bad. And luckily with that one, with my wagon though, it's actually relatively easy to get to everything. Even though it is a big V8 in there, you can still get to everything, unlike the B5S4.
Right.
So, if you actually have one of those like A6 S lines from that era that has the 2.7 S4 engine in it, you can actually take the turbos out of that one without removing the engine. Out of the wheel well, actually. But not the B5.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, so I mean that's the era where they really kind of started to do things a little bit cheaper, and you can tell. But that 4.2 engine is actually mechanically bulletproof. As long as you do,
You'll-
yeah. As long as you do the timing belt, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
So I know Ben, Ben Lamerson.
Yeah.
So he has 2 of them. Both of them have over 240,000 miles. Really, the only downside with that car is 2 of them. Sorry. If you learn to work on it, it's not bad to work on. Number 1 is gas mileage. If you're doing it around town, you're lucky to be doing 11.
Wow.
On the freeway, it will do 20, but that is the limit. 19 if you're doing about 80.
Yeah, and like my average is about 18, 19 combined.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I'll have the instantaneous wheel readout on.
Yeah.
It's any kind of acceleration. It's about 7 to 6 miles per day. But
That's great.
the only other thing is that in that era is when Audi decided to start hiking parts prices. So some parts on that thing are ludicrously expensive. The sun visor is $700.
Sorry, the sun visor.
The sun visor, yeah, the flip-down sun visor. Now, it's the same sun visors that are in James's car. The Alcantara sun visors with the home link built.
I don't care.
I know, I don't either. But see, there's funny things like that. But then there's the coils that are like $20. It's all over the place. The climate control unit is $1,200. The center console is $400 for that padded armrest. And then, like, even the two buttons that control your tilt of your seat, forward, backward, up, and down, that little panel right there is $200.
Notice you can trend that these are all interior pieces. And the
Exterior.
cheap shit,
Exterior.
no, the cheap shit is the mechanicals.
Yes.
Is that correct?
For the most part, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
There's a few that are still ridiculous, which is if you're buying them from Audi. If you can buy them ZF remanufactured or Bosch remanufactured, so like I had to do alternator and power steering pump. Power steering pump was,
Want a little box there?
I'll probably finish it.
Okay, take your
So,
time.
Thank you. I had to do power steering pump and alternator. If you get them from Audi, they're like $450 to $500 each. Not terrible, but not great. Not either. But if you get them from ZF remanufactured and Bosch remanufactured, respectively,
Yeah.
which ironically enough is all that Audi has left, so it's the same thing. It's $150 cheaper each.
Oh my god.
But it's just one of those funny things. But yeah, most of the mechanical bits are actually pretty cheap. There are a few exterior parts that are expensive. So the mirrors, I don't know why they decided to do this. The whole mirror housings, they're not chrome, they're solid aluminum. They're one-piece solid aluminum that's milled one-piece solid aluminum.
Oh my god.
So they're like $800 a piece.
Yeah. Wow.
They look amazing, but they're still $800 a piece.
Fucking Germans, man.
Right?
Here, let's take something that can be like really simple and like cost effective.
And let's make it complicated.
And let's just make it like the most expensive possible way to do it by taking a solid chunk of aluminum and milling it out.
Don't get me wrong, I love the look, I love the fact that they are metal and they feel awesome, but is that really worth that much?
You know how many pop cans had to be recycled? But yeah, it was
Like
what,
80 each.
5 cents a can? That's a lot. I think it's more like 3 cents an ounce in most
About,
places
yeah.
for aluminum.
I'm just glad mine's roughly fully loaded. It's got parking sensors and everything. There's one thing I wish it did have, which was an option. They made a solar sunroof for that car.
Really?
So what it would do, it didn't charge the battery or anything. What it would do is it would actually keep the interior fan running to ventilate air so that it didn't get hot in the car during the summer.
Interesting.
But it wouldn't do it during the winter. It would only do it during the summer. So it had a temperature sensor. That
I was gonna say, how would it know? But yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, that's one thing I wish mine had. It's kind of cool. And talking to some people that have it, they say it's actually bulletproof. They say they've had no problems with it. They said it wore out the interior fan faster, but the actual like sunroof itself, the solar bit of it, no
I mean,
problem.
that makes sense though if it's constantly moving.
Yeah.
Like if, from say June or May into September, if that fan is always on,
But it's butt easy to change. It depends on the car. The Saab, you have to take the entire dashboard out. So, on that car, you drop the glove box and then you undo 3 bolts and a plug.
Nice. That's awesome.
And we actually decided, when we were on the way down here, we decided what I'm going to do with my parts shell. The one that I bought for parts.
LS swap it?
No, I'm going to get the same engine, transmission, and whatnot. Somehow, I'm going to put tracks on it.
Yes. When?
It might be a few years, but
Like, you see that mountain up there?
we're going up.
We're going up them hills.
Shit on the road right now. No roads.
No, we don't need roads. Where we're going,
We don't need.
we don't know. We don't
Where
need
we're
roads.
going, even snowmobiles can't get.
So I'm going to do some.
What you should do though, you should do that and then get like a Ken Block wrap, like how he has on his, on his Raptor.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to be doing some research to see. I guarantee you.
That will blow up the internet, dude.
Well, I guarantee you that if there's some way I could probably make, like for instance, a WRX track system. I guarantee you, 'cause they're not that far apart. They're
Well, how those systems are, from what I understand, it's like the hub comes out,
Yep.
it spins, and there's 3 different other wheels that act as gears that spin,
Yep.
and there's just a track line that goes around it.
yeah.
And there's a frame for that track line.
Yeah, so I just have to do some research mainly on how like the steering attaches and how like the suspension there attaches. But I guarantee there's a way I can do it.
So, I mean, if anything, you can just take that wheel that attaches to the hub and then just get one fabricated that matches the hub for the Audi. But I'm sure.
I think actually, I think the hubs are roughly the same. I don't think
There
they're that
you go.
different.
There you go, and then it's just your steering, really.
Because I think they're both 5 on 100 bolt pattern. I think that they both have roughly the same size wheels. I think mine has a little bit more, which is fine. That gives me more room actually.
It does. It definitely does.
And so I think they should be roughly about the same. This might be several years down the road because I've got to get the other ones functioning before. But
I mean, priorities.
but I do want to do that. Like that to me appeals so much more than what I was planning on, which was a mild trek.
Should have done that with the shell of the other Saab.
I know, right?
We were gonna Baja the white shell, my original Saab.
Yeah.
Just gonna keep it, just Baja it. No doors, no hatch, no glass. Just
The main issue with that though.
Box racing suspension.
yeah.
Well, we were thinking about that. We would have to change everything to do with that suspension because that suspension is.
Well,
You'd have to change
unibody
everything.
too.
And it's unibody, so there's not much you can do. You'd have to change a lot to make that
Not
thing
really
work
a
like that.
frame to bolt anything to.
Because with the way that unibody works, the funny enough is like the A-arm from the suspension actually literally just bolts up to like the side. There's no like frame bit or anything. It literally bolts up to the side of the engine compartment.
Yeah.
We'd have to like find a frame that we could integrate into that problem.
Well, basically, we'd have to install some kind of subframe below everything. Yeah, we looked at it and we were just like, it's a lot of work for that car. Whereas on the Audi, I'm pretty sure there's a way I can make it work with, like I said, a WRX type setup because people have already done that.
That's why never be the first to do something. Be the second to do something.
Right?
So you're just fresh enough to be relevant, but you don't have to work out all the kinks.
Right? Yeah. I don't even want to imagine how much that's going to cost. 5 figures, guaranteed.
Think so? Well, yeah. Actually, no. It has to be 5 figures.
Guaranteed it's going to be over 10 grand, easy.
I was thinking 15. Yeah.
So I know that V8 will have plenty more than enough torque to do that. I know that. So I'm just going to keep that motor because it's already in there, wired and everything for that motor. So I'll just
Keep it.
keep it. I'll probably manual swap. Actually, what I'll probably do, most people go with a manual swap with an O&E, which is what's in that car. If they're going to manual swap those cars. But what I'll probably do is I'll probably find an all-road transmission that has a dog leg of first gear for some good low torque.
Yes.
That'll help.
And then once you're going, you just go boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Right, then freshly snowed, on the road.
Drive
Just
to fucking Brighton or something, or Park City.
Just
flowers.
not even on the street, just straight up.
Yes, yes.
You pull up to Harley's Canyon, they have it all shut down. You need chains and 4-wheel drive. It's like, oh,
I got tracks, bitch.
I don't need to worry about sliding.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be.
That'd be amazing.
I want to do this. Maybe I'll just go knock on Ken Block's door. Hey, so about all the tracks and stuff you put on
How'd you do it?
You just, I don't even need your help. Just give me the schematics or something like that. Because this thing's just up in Park City.
Oh yeah.
Minigun racing.
No, when we did Cars for Kids, when that happened, his truck showed up. He wasn't there. Well, one of his buddies took it, but
That truck's awesome.
it is awesome. I sat inside it.
Lucky bastard.
I got some pictures inside and just like, oh my god.
Is it a Shelby Raptor or is it just the
I think it's just a standard Raptor.
just the standard Raptor?
Yeah.
I think Shelby Raptors just came out though, didn't they? Just barely.
They've been out for a little while. Park City Police Department has one.
Technically speaking,
I've seen two.
yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been the same one. I
It
saw
could have
the one
been
at
the same
Park
one
City,
twice.
Yep.
and then it was down in Salt Lake somewhere. So
Well, it might have been different.
So the funny thing about this is, technically speaking, you can't. It's not like the Mustangs where you can buy them from Shelby. You actually have to buy a Raptor, send it back to Shelby, and then they do it. So there's no like floor standing models waiting for you to buy.
Right.
Right.
It's like when I went to Vegas, I toured the Shelby facility, which is awesome.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Will you do it?
No.
You need to do it. It's free too.
I mean, I don't go to Vegas that, like, I went like 3 times last year to Vegas. I'm like, alright, I'm done for like the next 20 years.
Once you
Thanks.
get too drunk out of your gourd.
Poquito.
Thank you. You bet.
But yeah, no, the facility was pretty awesome. I got to see some of the first ones that were rolling out.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty cool.
That's expensive though. It's like buy a freaking Raptor, then send it to Shelby. Say here,
Well,
do your
buy a
thing.
$50,000 truck.
then send it to Shelby and pay almost another $50,000.
Fucking hell. For $100,000, I would rather have literally anything else.
They're badass.
They are
They are.
badass.
All-wheel drive.
You know what I'd rather have for $100,000? RS7.
Oh yeah,
Used.
oh yeah.
A used RS7 with like 40,000 miles on it.
A friend of mine down in Provo actually just bought an S8, a newer gen S8 with 15,000 miles.
How much?
75. It's still got factory warranty. Still has, or no, sorry, it has 25,000 miles. Still has 5,000 miles, or like 15,000 miles left of the Audi factory service and everything. I mean, he had a T3 S8 before that with a V10.
Oh, wow.
He bought it for $10,000. No, here's why.
He was a step up.
Well, no, he bought it for $9,000. It was in perfect condition, but the head gaskets were blown. So he rebuilt the whole thing, put it back in, drove it for 6 months, sold it for double what he paid for it. So
That's still a hell of a bump up from the $20,000 S8 to a newer A8.
nice ass car.
Yeah. I mean, it's that classic car that really dictates the engineering and, you know, what goes into other cars, like the plebs cars. By the way, I just got a car glimpse of outside.
Oh yeah.
It's snowing. For those watching at home.
Having fun there?
Yes. Also, this thing is warm.
Oh yeah, it gets warm.
It's hot. It's so hot.
It's been going for 40 minutes, but the cool thing is that it hasn't even actually dropped from where it was in battery.
Nice. Well, do we want to bounce out of here and go to the top?